Hello everybody and welcome back to X4, where you'll see we currently have about 27 million credits. I decided to leave the game running overnight while I slept, and I woke up to a rather nice situation in terms of finances. So we've got that going for us. We also, if you notice here, have the GE headquarters fully paid off. Now, there's a couple of things that I should mention about the GE headquarters. If we hop into the plan build, you'll notice we're building a bunch of biomes and container storages. This was something that I added after last episode because I realized we didn't have enough biomes and I don't feel like buying larger biomes, even though I'm sure they're more space efficient and maybe even more resource efficient. So that we're doing that, and we're also expanding our container storage just a little bit. This is already all paid, so we just have to wait for this to tick down. That'll just happen over time. We have our Claytronics production fully ramped up, so that's great to see. Now, I'm slightly concerned about our silicon wafer output. The weird thing here is that our microchips require 1,900, or actually 4,800 silicon wafers. We produce 2,500, so we actually need to increase our silicon wafer production now that I think about it. Where are we currently producing those? I believe we have those placed in over here. Yeah, that's our silicon wafer production. Where do we want to produce additional silicon wafers? Well, we don't happen to have a lot of space available currently. Perhaps we're going to have to make a spot for it. Unless we want potentially to attach it on the other side over here, and this is what I'm leaning towards doing. So we would just copy this module, and apparently it does not. Do we copy the module sequence? I did not mean to do that. We're going to undo that. We're just going to copy that module, and we're going to place it right there. And then silicon wafer production, we can just ramp that up right over here, and I think, does that need to be rotated? Actually, no, that's completely fine. So we can just leave that there. Because we definitely need to ramp up silicon wafer production. And I would like to move this up. Can we do that? No, we can't. Okay. That's not what I'm looking to modify. Not right now, anyway. Okay, so the silicon wafer production is going to be underwhelming for a while. We'll just have to keep that in mind. And how much is it looking to cost to build that? It's still saying 0 for station construction. At least on this screen. I think we'll have to fund it in this screen here. Okay, about 300k. That's super, super cheap. So that is great. So we've got that taken care of, and that should produce enough silicon wafers so that we aren't hamstringing our production. We'll just take some money out of this station account to compensate us for that loss. Or that investment, rather. A little bit out of this account. And absolutely everything out of this account. Now, we've got some work to do on the life support factory down over here. Let's just go ahead and hop into this information here. You can see we still need about 20 million credits to get this maxed out, but the pier and the dock point are actually made, so we're going to head down there at some point soon to bring in a manager. But for right now, we need to get up and go talk to the faction rep, because we have enough money to pick up the blueprints for antimatter converters and field coils. Are you good at management? No, not particularly. Okay. Well, let's go talk to the faction rep. And let's see what we've got over here. We've got a couple of crewmen over here. He's actually pretty decent at management. 51,000 credits? Yes. We're going to hire him, and we're going to put him in the Elite Vanguard. Or actually, no. We don't need to do this anymore, because there was a patch that came out. If I recall correctly, we can simply select this now in the manager role, and he'll make his own way over there in a transport pod. Excellent. That's a nice change, although him walking right through that rail is a little bit disconcerting. I'm going to be honest.
It's an honor to see you here.
Okay, so we need a couple of blueprints. Specifically, we need antimatter converters, and there's half of our money gone, and field coils, which is in here somewhere. I, for some reason, was expecting this to be alphabetical, but of course it isn't. Or is it? Food rations are here. I feel certain that we were able to see field coils from her before. But maybe she doesn't offer field coils. And we'll have to go talk to perhaps the Talati to get those. We can get the antimatter converters, though.
Good luck out there.
Excellent. And it's this way. I always get a little bit turned around in that corridor. I don't know why. Looks like we've got some... Did I go back to the representative's office? Let's go to the Elite Vanguard. That would help. That's more like it. Okay, so we need to start heading over to the Talati trading station, since I think that was where we saw the field coils. So we'll undock here, and we will set our destination over to here. And we'll get started going there via autopilot. While we're on the way, we can put in these antimatter converters on our wharf plan. And what I was thinking here was that we have a fair amount of space down here that's almost certainly not going to be utilized by the actual wharfs. So we can potentially extend, say... Well, how do I want to do this? How big is the antimatter converter? That is something that we should figure out. Where is antimatter converter in this? Here it is. So it's relatively small, but pretty tall, realistically. Okay. And it snaps in on top like that. How tall are we talking? What just happened? Oh, okay, we got on the superhighway. I was gonna say, did we just get shot? But no, we did not. Okay, so we know that now that this is relatively tall, and we're planning on tiling turret components this direction, so perhaps we should place a cross module, actually a base module over here. We're gonna have to rotate that. There we go. And then a cross module here. And then we would copy this module and place it there, and then another cross module there. And then we would simply put in a pair of antimatter converters.
Silent witness.
In theory, okay, that is definitely too tall to fit there. So we're going to need to place these, let's see, those are scanning arrays there. We could instead grab these locations
System. Profit Center Alpha.
and place it there. And if we're going to place it there, then we technically don't need this base connection structure. So we can remove that, and we would simply place it like that. And then we would copy this module sequence. And actually, we can't really put it on the other side, so we'd have to tile it over here, which we would need one of these horizontal modules for. So we'll place that there. Like that. Okay, so there's a spot for it. How much are we looking at to build this now? A lot. But we'll just confirm those changes for right now. And we are still on our way to the Talati trading station. And of course, our current priority is on the life support factory here. Let's see, does this already have the manager here? No, the manager has not arrived yet. It looks like... I'm not sure where exactly the manager is, but the manager should turn up there eventually. based on my read of the patch notes. So that's good. The life support factory should come online, and let's just go ahead and assign this Mercury Vanguard to trade for commander here. Trade for the build storage? No. We'll just assign for that. Because we'll still have to pay for the build storage, I believe. But actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll remove that. And we will set this to trade for the build storage. Just to make sure we've got something trading for it, and we're not fully reliant on NPCs. And we can always reassign that later. Okay, our autopilot was disengaged, so we should probably reactivate that. And we'll head on over to the trading platform.
Autopilot disengaged.
And I'll just do this manually. There we go. And in fact, we can go back into autopilot now that we are off of the superhighway. Excellent. So how are we doing over here in terms of income? Quite well, really. All things considered. We'll grab a little bit out of there. A tiny amount out of here. And all of the life support factory. There we go. Excellent. And this is still considered fully funded. So that is great. What all do we need here? Just some energy cells and hull parts. That should not take long. By the time we get through this big ol' list, it should for sure be done.
Autopilot
Fantastic.
disengaged.
We don't seem to be running low on superfluid coolant, or graphene, or antimatter cells, so we don't need to expand any of that production for right now. But silicon wafers, we're definitely struggling with. And that is the Xenon defense platform back. Okay. That's exciting. Where are we? Here we are.
Out of docking range.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Tried to request docking, but I think you have to be within 10 kilometers.
Docking granted.
There we go. We'll just boost our way over here, and hopefully ignore the defense platform. There is no defense platform here. I don't know what you're talking about. This doesn't exist. Is that the defense platform? I'm not sure that that is the defense platform, actually. Well, let's just make our way over towards the docking bay. And we'll orient ourselves like so. And we'll just come up over here and dock. Okay, this should not be any real problem. We are going to have to come in at a slightly different angle, of course. And we'll see if the docking computer decides to ram the... Oh, yep. Please stop, docking computer. It always tries to ram this station, and I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Close enough.
Successfully docked.
Okay, let's get out of here and go talk to the faction rep, because we still need field coils. I hope they're sold here. I don't, strictly speaking, know that. Hello, faction rep.
It's an honor to see you here.
Do you sell field coils? Yes, you do. Fantastic.
Good profit to you.
And to you. Okay. Let's head back to the ship. Because we now have all of the blueprints we need, other than the mega expensive ones. So that is fantastic. And we've still got some credits left over. So we're going to hop into the map here.
I was asked to drop my cargo.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to pretend that this station is not under attack, and we are going to work on the SM Wharf over here. So, of course, we are going to need to figure out a place to put field coil production. Oh, and we need to check what antimatter converters actually need. They need advanced composites, energy cells, and microchips. We make all of those. Fantastic. Okay, what about field coils? They take energy cells, plasma conductors, and quantum tubes. We make all of those. Fantastic. Okay, so we need to decide where to put these. We've currently got advanced composites and smart chips being produced there. What is the size of this for the field coils? Okay, that's really not bad. So we can mount those over here, I'm thinking. How much spacing are we going to need is the question. So we can mount that right down over there. I think we're going to need a horizontal module to space this out. So we'll just do that. There we go. And we'll just see what we need for actual sizing here. So the field coil would go there. Except I kind of want to flip it around. I don't want to have this open. I want to flip it around like this. Or actually, maybe even slightly off kilter like that to fit in just a little bit better. That'll do. And we copy that sequence. And we place it right there. Excellent. So there's our first bits of field coil production. Great. Now we're looking at 84 million credits to get this online, and this is just the initial starting point, keep in mind. And I think we're going to bail on this location here. We are going to set our location to be back at the Argonne shipyard for right now, because our next blueprint purchases are still going to be back there for the Argonne Federation blueprints for the small medium wharf and the repair bay. We're going to need both of those. Oh my, why are we... Okay, now we're speed limited. I was like, why were we going so fast in the docking bay? But we seem to be okay now. So let's just get a little bit oriented here. And make our way out of the docking bay. Let's see if we can get out of here without aggravating any of this going on over here. We're just bailing on that and boosting our way over this way.
Autopilot.
Okay.
Engage.
Now the autopilot should be able to get us pretty much most of the way there. So that is great. So we still have 3 million credits to our name. And that's fine. We are going to need, let's see. Okay, our manager has arrived at the life support factory now. That's fantastic. We are going to need to get some mining ships there. That is our next priority, really. So at the Argonne Wharf, we will buy ourselves a couple of medium drill mineral vanguards. We're going to add one to the shopping list. How many can we afford? We can actually afford 3. Okay, we'll confirm that. So that'll be done shortly, and that Xenom defense platform looks like it's going to be dying pretty soon. These are all building simultaneously. They had all of the components on hand for them, so that is perfect. And let's just check over here in our logical overview. I believe our water production is still going to be at the end, isn't it? Actually, no, the water production is up here. Kind of in the middle, but not too bad. So, I mean, this station is going to be a bit of a money pit until that water production gets built. But that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. So how much are we looking at needing to finish that off for the station construction here? We're needing about 17 million, apparently. That's the wrong thing. Yeah, 17 million. We'll toss what we have left over there. That'll be fine. Excellent. And then up here, we can grab some money out of our Claytronics factory, as well as out of our hull parts factory. and our life support factory. And that got us about another 1,000,000 credits. Not bad, not bad. And we're going to keep tossing credits at this point at the life support factory because everything else is fully funded. So that'll be great. And how's our production on these mining ships going? We are still about a minute away. Okay. Well, we'll be hopping onto the superhighway soon enough. And I'm probably going to end up, after this episode, just leaving the game running for like 24 hours before the next episode so that we hopefully have enough money to purchase some of the wharf modules. Because those are like ridiculously expensive, in the hundreds of millions. And overnight only made us... Well, it actually made us like 40 million because I invested a whole lot of that into the GE headquarters to get that all fully paid off. So yeah, it made us like 40 million. If I leave it on throughout the day as well, then that would, in theory, get us pretty close to what we need. Especially if that second life support factory comes online. The more I reinvest, the more efficient that is in terms of credits per hour. So that's the overall concept there. I know that this game does have a built-in time acceleration feature. I'm kind of staying away from it, though, because I kind of like not being able to warp time in a weird sort of way. It makes making these credit breakpoints feel impactful. And I feel like that wouldn't necessarily be the case if I was able to just, warp time ahead a week. And just be rolling in credits, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out later in the series. But for right now, I think this is fine. Autopilot, please don't freak out. We're just leaving a superhighway. Okay, let's see if I can figure out how to steer. There we go. We're going to be going through an asteroid belt, so I might want to manually pilot this anyway. Let's just see how this goes. Actually, I am going to put it on autopilot. We've traversed this asteroid field without substantial issues before on this exact path. But the reason that I wanted to do that was because I want to select these 3 drills and assign them to the shipyard life support factory as miners. So they should begin undocking and taking off and flying over that way to start gathering, in theory, some ice, but in reality they're not really going to do much of anything until that water production is done. Which is definitely going to take some time. There's no doubt about that. I want to check in real quick on the GE headquarters here. So we're going to do a planned build here. Yeah, that's going to go pretty quickly, realistically. Nothing here is going to take a huge amount of time to build. It's just there's quite a few modules that it needs to construct. So that's fine. And of course, our funding levels on the life support factory are a bit on the low side. But that's definitely something that I'm going to be changing as we go on in between episodes. So by the time we come back, I expect that shipyard life support episode, that life support...
Argon Shipyard. Docking granted.
There we go. That shouldn't have been that complicated. I fully expect the life support factory to be fully funded by the time we come back, and maybe fully constructed? We'll see. But we're going to really begin heavy production of the wharf. Is our next primary goal. But before I put an end to this particular episode, I do want to go talk to the faction rep, and that is why we are here.
Successfully docked.
So let's get up. And we are going to go talk to the faction rep over here. Apparently faceplant in the wall. That works too. Because I want to note down exactly how much the maintenance bay and construction bay will cost for blueprints, and I'm willing to bet that it is a lot. Okay, so Argon Let's see, that's the large ship fabrication bay and maintenance bay. We're not worried about that right now. So the SM ship fabrication bay. So I'm going to note this down in the spreadsheet. You'll notice probably the frame rate dropped as I tabbed out. So the Argon SM ship fab is how I'm going to note that. And I'm going to call that 117 million. Actually, I'll call it 116.4 million. There we go. And then the Argon SM ship maintenance bay is going to be 35.3 million. Okay, so we're going to need like close to 150 million. That's a lot, to be sure. And this is only for Argon. We're going to want to make a collection of these. We'll probably have like one fabrication bay and one maintenance from each type, unless this doesn't specifically say it's Argon. Now that I look at it. These specifically say that they're Argon. So maybe we'll just need to grab this and then the ship blueprints. That might be all we need. Which those, how expensive are the ship blueprints? We haven't really looked at those. Pretty expensive, really, but not that bad, I guess. And then the equipment down here also has its own blueprints. So this is going to take a while to get all of these blueprints collected. But that's okay. We have passive income coming in, and this should be absolutely fine. So next episode, we are definitely going to come back and start properly working on our wharf. But for now, I'm going to put a cut in here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time. That door was kind of exciting.